Hey everyone, today we're diving into a topic that affects, well, millions of us, but can feel so incredibly lonely: anxiety and depression. We're going to try to pull back the curtain a bit, really understand these feelings, and hopefully light up the path forward. Let's get into it. Does this sound at all familiar? You know that feeling? Like your brain is a web browser with about 50 tabs open all at once? Half of them are frozen, the music from that one video won't stop playing, and you have no idea where it's coming from. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. And trust me, if you felt this, you are definitely not the only one. So let's start right there. Let's put a name to these feelings that show up, totally uninvited. Just by understanding what they are, we can start to take away some of their power. It's time to actually meet these monsters that can kind of set up camp in our minds. I think these metaphors really help make it concrete. So on one side, you have anxiety, which is like the shadow. It's that nagging voice in the back of your head, always whispering, what if? It keeps you in this constant state of high alert, just waiting for something to go wrong. And then, on the other side, you have depression, or the weight. It's like being covered by this heavy, gray blanket that just drains all the color and energy out of life, making even the smallest things feel impossible.
And this right here, this might be the most important thing you hear today. Whatever it is you're feeling, whether it's more like the shadow or more like the weight, please remember this. You are not alone.
So that leads to the big question, right? Why? Why do these feelings even show up? It's so easy to turn inward and blame ourselves. But the truth is, it's way more complicated than that. This isn't some character flaw. It's more like a perfect storm of different factors all coming together.
And I really want this to sink in. Having these struggles doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. It's a sign that your mind and your body are reacting to everything that's going on around you and inside of you. To really understand that perfect storm, we can break it down into three main pillars, three big areas. We're going to look at the biology, the environment, and the psychology that all play a part in these conditions.
First up, biology. Our brains are these incredibly complex chemical factories, right? And sometimes the messengers in there, the neurotransmitters that make you feel good, like serotonin, might not be firing on all cylinders. Genetics can play a part too. If it runs in your family, you might just be a bit more predisposed. The key takeaway here is it's not your fault. It can literally be part of your wiring.
Next, let's talk about our environment, because life throws a lot at us. Things like chronic stress from work, or money problems, or tough relationships, they can put our whole system on high alert. And past trauma from difficult events can leave a lasting echo. It's almost like having a fire alarm going off inside you that just never, ever stops. And finally, there's psychology, the actual habits of our minds. You know how you can get stuck in those negative thought loops, where your brain just replays the worst-case scenario over and over? That can lead to things like catastrophizing, where one small mistake feels like the end of the world, or black and white thinking, where everything is either perfect or a total disaster. And usually, it's a mix of all three of these pillars working together.
Okay, so that's a lot about the why. Now let's make a shift and talk about the how. How do we start to manage these feelings? And here's the really good news. There are real concrete solutions. Let's think of this next part as building your own personal mental toolkit. So, what's the very first tool we should probably reach for? It is, without a doubt, the power of connection. Now, this could mean finding a therapist, a safe, neutral space to untangle your thoughts. Or it could simply mean opening up to a friend or family member you really trust. See, isolation is like fuel for anxiety and depression. Connection, that's the antidote. There's this old saying that is just so true. A problem shared is often a problem halved. Just the act of saying your struggle out loud to someone can make it feel so much less heavy. You're taking it out of the echo chamber of your own mind.
Okay, next up, let's grab a tool for managing our internal world.
This one is all about learning to work with your mind instead of just letting it run the show. There are techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, that literally help you catch and challenge those negative thought patterns. So instead of, I messed up, I'm a failure, you learn to reframe it as, okay, I made a mistake, what can I learn from it? Then there's mindfulness, which is all about training your brain to stay here, in the present, instead of getting carried away by worries about the future. All right, tool number 3. This one is super practical and it really supports everything else we're doing. We absolutely cannot forget the deep, deep connection between our minds and our bodies. Things like regular exercise can be a powerful natural antidepressant. Eating good, nourishing food gives your brain the fuel it needs to function well. And getting enough quality sleep, that is completely non-negotiable for keeping our emotions in check. Think of these habits like building a shield of resilience. So, what happens when those tools still don't feel like they're enough? And that brings us to our fourth and final tool for today, medication. Sometimes medication is a totally vital and necessary part of the toolkit. Just like someone with diabetes might need insulin, some of us need medication to help rebalance our brain chemistry. I really want to be clear here. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a valid medical treatment that can create the stability you need for all the other tools to really start working. As we start to wrap this up, it's so important to frame this the right way. This whole thing isn't about finding some magic, overnight cure. It's about a journey, not a destination. It's about learning how to be the captain of your own ship, even when the seas get really stormy. And please, remember this. Recovery is almost never a straight line. There are going to be good days, and there are going to be tough days. And that's not a sign of failure. It's just a normal part of healing and building real, lasting strength. Let's be really clear about the objective here. The goal isn't to never feel anxious or sad again. I mean, that's impossible. Those are normal human emotions. We're all going to feel them. The real goal is to get to a place where those feelings are no longer in the driver's seat, running your life. So, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Looking at everything we just covered, connection, your mind, your body, and medication, what is one small, manageable first step you can take? What's the first tool you're going to pick up and add to your own toolkit? Be kind to yourself and be kind to your mind.